And joining us now is Representative Terry Redon, representative of the Bicol Saro Party List and a member of the House Committee on Justice as well. Good morning, Congressman, and thanks for joining us here on Morning Matters.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, Kong Terry, I'm sure the past 2 days have been quite busy for you along with the other members of the House Justice Committee. But let's dissect first the events that took place yesterday. The committee held its second hearing on the impeachment complaints against President Bongbong Marcos, and this time the focus was on determining sufficiency in substance. But help us understand, Kong, no? Gaano po ba talaga kataas yung threshold in determining sufficiency in substance?
Well, yung threshold po will depend on each and every member's determination on whether or not the allegations and the facts being presented rise to a sufficiency in substance. No? So, yesterday there had been discussions on the first impeachment complaint filed by Attorney De Jesus. So, maraming pinag-usapan doon. Yung firstly, yung supposed kidnapping of the former president and bringing him to The Hague. Firstly, ito po ay hindi kidnapping. This is an implementation of a warrant of arrest, no, issued by the International Criminal Court, coursed through the Interpol, and in which the Interpol coordinated with the Philippine government. No? So this was an implementation of a treaty obligation of the Philippines to Interpol to implement an arrest. No? So I think that needs to be cleared kasi yung binabanggit na kidnapping, it is a conclusion of law. It does not describe accurate facts as to what had happened to the former president and as to why he was brought to The Hague, to the International Criminal Court. Yun yung first. No? So second, napag-usapan din yung pong supposed drug addiction ng ating pong Pangulo. Simple lang ho yung sagot po ng mga kinatawan kahapon. Wala hong ebidensyang iprinsinta sa bagay po na ito. Ang binabanggit lang yung pong talumpati ni Senator Amy Marcos alluding to an addiction of the president. No? So insufficient po na yun lang po yung magiging batayan po dito. Pangatlo, yung pong failure to revoke, yung failure to veto, yung pong unprogrammed appropriations. Ang sabi po ng mga kinatawan dito ay yung pong power to veto and not to veto ay discretion at kapangyarihan po ng Pangulo po ng Pilipinas. So, kumbaga, it will not rise to an impeachable offense. No? Tapos pang-apat, napag-usapan din po yung supposed kickbacks mula sa flood control corruption. Wala akong naipakitang ebidensya. Actually, pinag-usapan lang po talaga kahapon. Puro nakabatay sa mga news reports, news articles po, yung mga sinabit po nga ebidensya noong po nga De Jesus complaints. At ang sinasabi ng mga kinatawan, parang hindi ho obra na mga news articles lang po yung magiging batayan ng isang impeachment complaint. At panghuli, yung pong usapin ng pag-create po ng Independent Commission for Infrastructure, yung ICI, ito po ay ginamit lang daw po to shield allies, no? Pero naglinaw po kahapon na sa totoo lang, meron pong may nakakulong na pong aliado ng Pangulo. Pangalawa, marami na pong mga prosesong tumatakbo ngayon sa bagay po na ito. In fact, meron pong Senate Blue Ribbon Committee partial report na parang napapangalanan po yung ilan pong mga nakaupong mga senador at ilan pong mga kongresista dito po sa bagay po. So, even on that point, parang hindi totoo na ginagamit po ang ICI to shield allies.
Well, you actually also pointed out, Kong, no, I saw in an interview that in the over 20 annexes, 3 lang doon yung hindi news articles. Are news articles not counted as authentic sources? And if so, just for the benefit of our viewers, what then counts as a solid basis to authenticate allegations?
Well, firstly, dapat nga at the level pa lang ho ng form, pinag-usapan na ho yung yung submission of authentic documents, and secondly, yung pong complaint should be based on personal knowledge. Kasi in previous impeachment proceedings, alam po niyo sa form pa lang ho, doon na ho na-raise yun eh. Kung based on personal knowledge or authentic records po, yung pong batayan po ng complaint. So, to answer your question, pwede hong supplementary documentation, no? Yung pong news articles. Pero, syempre, when we speak about authentic records, dapat una galing yan doon sa mga certified true copies, for example, ng mga official records, no? Katulad ng mga court cases, Senate or Congress committee reports, no? At iba pa hong mga government documents, no? Pwede rin ho dapat na, for example, meron kang personal knowledge on a particular high crime or an impeachable offense, dapat meron pong affidavit na ipinasa. So for example, doon po, kung gagamitin halimbawa ito pong Zaldico videos, dapat po meron pong actual affidavit si former Congressman Zaldico, talaga po nagsasabi na siya ho halimbawa yung gumawa po ng video po na ito. So, yung mga yun, wala akong mga naipasang mga ganun pong mga dokumento. Kasi siyempre, hindi naman ho pwedeng, third-party information po yung pinagmumulan, and more importantly, hindi ho pwede na talaga na parang ang dating parang manufactured lang po yung pong mga documentation or evidence na ipinapasa po natin.
I see. So even with the videos of, particularly of former Congressman Zaldico narrating that the president benefited through kickbacks in flood control schemes, wala pong presumption of authenticity doon kahit na hindi naman AI generated yung video and this was attached to the impeachment complaint. Kailangan pa rin i-certify yun, Congressman?
Kailangan pa rin ho ng affidavit pertaining to it, no? Siyempre, to be very clear, up until today, marami pa rin ho hindi naniniwala na hindi AI generated, no? Ito po Zaldico video. So, talagang susi po talaga na meron pong pagpapatotoo mula sa kanya na siya po yung nasa videos na ito kung gagamitin po ito sa isang impeachment proceeding.
But doesn't that make this whole process arduous for the complainant? Because it means that they would have to go through these lengths, they would have to acquire these affidavits, true copies, even before filing an impeachment complaint. And that might be a tall order for, let's say, a private citizen who would like to file an impeachment complaint.
Well, we have to be very clear na hindi po ito labanan lang ho ng propaganda or press release, no? This is a legal, political, and constitutional process. So, bahagi po ng legal process yung pagtitiyak na ito po ay una, personal knowledge, at pangalawa, based on authentic documents. No? So, for example, wala naman hong nagsasabi na, halimbawa, hindi ho pwede yung mga official records eh. In fact, pwede hong kunin ng mga ordinary mamamayan po ito, mga official records to, for example, point to impeachable offenses. No? Pwede hong gumamit ng mga Senate committee reports. Kaya nga, for example, merong annex doon na Senate committee report, pero ang tanong ho natin actually kahapon, nakakuha ba sila ng certified true copies of these Senate committee reports? Kasi ang totoo naman, even without, for example, an affidavit, if you will be able to basically build your case of an impeachable offense through official records with certified true copies, tingin ko wala naman pong magiging ganun pong problema para sa ordinary mamamayan.
But yesterday, Representative Shell Diokno, I think, raised an important point. He said, does this mean that the complainants will not be given the opportunity then to authenticate their documents during the evidentiary phase? Because that's part of due process and that should be accorded to them during that phase, because this could also affect other impeachment complaints. Sabi niya, in the stage of determining sufficiency in substance, lawmakers or members must simply look at the allegations and hypothetically admit that they are true, and only then, after you determine sufficiency, will you go to the evidentiary phase. Can you explain that to us, Kong? Yeah.
Well, tama yung bahagi na meron pong aspeto during the hearing proper na meron pong authentication, actual authentication of documents, no? Pero simple lang naman ho yung tanong actually kahapon. Yung po bang mga dokumento, without even going to the actual text, no, of the documents. Simple lang yung tanong kahapon eh. Una, meron po bang affidavit relating na meron pong personal knowledge ng complainants? Pangalawa, based ba on certified true copies yung pong mga submissions? So, simple lang po yun. It doesn't go into the text or the content of the document, which can actually come, like what he was saying, in the next stages of the proceeding. So, it was a very simple question. Kasi nga, like what we had stated, these questions, if in the negative po yung sagot, typically ho, at the level of form, sufficient to inform, na didismiss na ho yung mga kaso. Actually, nung sinabi ho yun, in the first instance, doon sa determination form, sabi nila, sa next stage na yun itanong. So, it was properly asked already at the level of sufficiency in substance. Kasi totoo po, if they will insist na it should be at the next stage and not at the first stage, which is at the sufficiency of form pa lang po, ang pwede ho talagang maging next step po ng mga House members po doon to make a motion for reconsideration on the determination of sufficiency in form. And I don't think House members would want that, no? Kasi pagka ho ganun, tapos nagkatalo na already on whether it is based on personal knowledge or authentic documents, pwede hong immediately mag-fall yung pong mga impeachment complaints po na ito.
Okay, so let's go to the order of business today for the Committee on Justice. You will be having your vote and explain the process to us, Congressman. When you vote on the first impeachment complaint or any impeachment complaint, will you vote on it as a whole or per offense po ito?
For the entirety of the impeachment complaint po, yun po nga pagboto. But, before going into the vote, mamaya ho, yung po nga presentation po ng second impeachment complaint. So, pag-usapan po doon kung meron po nga culpability ang Pangulo doon sa DPWH parametric formula. Yung sinasabi po nga batayan ng pagkakaroon po ng mga allocable supposedly ng mga lawmakers, congressman, senador, at even executive officials. So, yun yung una. Pangalawa, pag-usapan nga doon, syempre, system din po ng kickbacks, no? Kung talaga po meron pong direct involvement ang Pangulo dito po sa sinasabi pong system of kickbacks sa flood control, corruption. At syempre, pangatlo, pag-usapan pa rin po yung pong hindi na lang yung pag-veto ng unprogrammed appropriations, kundi yung paggamit mismo ng unprogrammed appropriations. Kung meron pong personal at high level na pananagutan ang Pangulo sa bagay po na ito.
So you will be discussing the second complaint first before you have the vote, and the vote will already include parehong complaint na, Congressman. But for the second complaint, do you foresee lengthier deliberations for this one? Because some analysts also foresee that the main objection for the second complaint is that it will be difficult to prove culpability on the part of the President.
Well, tingin ko mas mahaba po yung talakayan. Although, syempre, mamaya kasi sila na agad yung isasalang pagbukas po ng komite, no? Pero, syempre, mas mahaba at mas voluminous po yung dokumento. Kasi, I think there will be a presentation of the DPWH parametric formula, no? So, mahaba po yun. Syempre, pangalawa, there will be a discussion on unprogrammed appropriations. So, mahaba rin po yun kasi yung prinsipyo na po ng unprogrammed appropriations yung pag-usapan dito. So, ultimately, yan po yung mga iikutan nito pong talakayan ngayon pong araw na ito.
And just to clarify, Kong, kasi parang Chairwoman Luistro touched on the reports. Sabi niya, if the committee finds the complaints insufficient, and that's what comes up in the committee report, and this is referred to plenary, may possibility na i-override ito sa plenaryo. And then the committee would be constrained to convert these into articles of impeachment. Is that really a possibility?
Hindi. Proseso po yung tinalakay niya. So, assuming, for example, na hindi ho makakuha ng more than 2/3 vote, yung pong dismissal nito pong impeachment complaint po na ito, talagang tama yon. It will convert into articles of impeachment, and then it will proceed to trial, no? So ayan po yung proseso po ng voting at the level po of the plenary.
Okay, and for the impeachment complaints of the Vice President, what's the status on that, Congressman? Is it still with the House Section?
Inantay po, wala pa akong balita kung na forward na po sa House Speaker ito pong mga dokumento po, no, nung pong impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero ang ating po expectation, hopefully within this week or by next week, magkaroon na po ng referral at the level of the plenary to the House Committee on Justice, no? Pero syempre, this does not preclude also kung meron hong makukuha na 1/3 support of all House members para we can still do an express route to the Senate for trial.
And I think it's also important to define yung timeline, ano, Kong? Because you said that it might be prudent to wait until February 6 before the complaints of against the Vice President will be referred to the Justice Committee. Kasi medyo dinadebate pa kung kailan ba talaga nag-end yung one-year prohibition rule. If it's January 15 or February 6, because a lot of people were surprised kung bakit napaaga yung filing ng impeachment complaints. But walk us through how that will work, Kong, ano? Yung waiting for February 6, because later on, baka i-question din naman yung constitutionality niyan, saying na dinelay yung pag-refer.
Well, yung Reckoning Act para po dito sa usapin po ng one-year bar ay yung pong referral to the House Committee on Justice, no? So, for as long as wala pong referral yet to the House Committee on Justice prior to the 6th of Feb, tingin ko wala na magiging problema yan doon po sa mga timelines po na sinet ng Supreme Court, whether under the original timeline of the original decision or doon sa new timeline under the motion for reconsideration resolution. No? So, I don't expect a referral this week. So, hopefully by next week po, magkakaroon ng actual referral po to the House Committee on Justice.
All right, well, we're going to leave that there. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. That was Congressman Terry Ridon, representative of the Bicol Saro Party List and a member of the House Committee on Justice. Thank you, Kong.
Good morning. Thank you.